Blade Runner 2049, because apparently there are 2048 other Blade Runners, but now I'm just giving WB ideas. You've seen the bitching, you've heard the moaning, you've taken the existence of an exploitative Blade Runner sequel as one of the biblical signs of Armageddon. What, just me? And now the trailer is out! Y'all niggas know the original is my favorite film, so who better to impart each and every microbe of a scintilla of an electron of information we can glean from the trailer in question? Cling fast to your cocks and or cunty bits. This should prove to be a didactic deluge. Are you ready? Are you clenched? Because here we go.
Replicants are like any other machine. They're either a benefit or a hazard. If they're a benefit, it's not my problem.
Things were simpler then.
Well, that was a tall glass of dick with a side of fuck all. But enough about Rogue One. Look, I get that it's meant to be a tease, but if you think I'm alone in that assertion, dig the comments section. I've seen fewer blue balls at an Amish titty bar. So to recap, young Hercules sachets his hipster bearded ass through my cat's litter box, stumbles on Megamaid's decapitated skull, and then promptly pokes around Liberace's mansion. But before he can break into a full-bore 5-alarm torch song, he turns, detecting an aberrant whiff of mothballs and Old Spice. He casts his gaze south by southwest, and what before his wandering walleyes should appear but Harrison Ford! And the wall to the immediate left of Harrison Ford. And can I ask what happened to fucking Hollywood, folks? I know this is a complete aside, but it used to be that to even get a fucking table read, you had to look like you were assembled in a lab out of parts of lesser underwear models. But now, for some reason, Ryan Letterbox Gosling can Quasimodo his melty-faced burn victim ass off the bell tower, and if he can merely make it to the casting couch without shitting his pants, he gets to ramrod Rachel McAdams in The Notebook? And don't give me acting talent. He's okay, but come the fuck on. It's the kid from the Mickey Mouse Club, not Laurence Olivier. He's not doing Henry VIII at the Globe here. He's doing Breaker High on UPN. Want to persuade me of your thespian bona fides, Mr. Gosling? Act like your eyes are in the same fucking zip code. Look, it could be worse. It could not be directed by Ridley Scott. Oh, God fucking damn it! Look, I've said it before, I'll say it again. As the biggest Blade Runner fan on this cerulean death dreidel we call a planet, this movie needs a sequel like Precious needs a quarter pounder and a Coke. The only question that hasn't been answered after the first film is the one question you should never fucking answer. Fuck, in order to even have this movie, you have to explain no less than 1,000 fucking things that, to preserve the seminal status of the original film, should never be fucking explained. Now, to their credit, the script is reputed to not answer the question of Deckard's fundamental humanity, a suggestion I'd have to scoff like the Dickens at, given that Harrison Ford has aged and replicants resoundingly fucking don't. And if you make the grievous error of indulging or even suggesting seizure-inducingly shitty contrived rationalizations like, he's a special model of replicant, or, well, he finger-fucked Jiminy Cricket and now he's a real boy, well, you might as well leg it on over to Fur Affinity with your fucking fanfic, because that's effectively all it goddamn is. Are you beginning to grasp why this movie shouldn't happen, folks? And I want to erect a clear line of demarcation between not wanting Blade Runner to happen and genuinely believing it will be bad. Because while I'm a strident adherent to the former, I don't necessarily believe the latter. The film is being written by the original script writer, Hampton Fancher, who had no shortage of unfinished business with the franchise, given that his original Blade Runner script didn't even really survive the studio apocalypse that resulted from Ridley Scott going over budget the first time around. So it should be illuminating to see what he does with minimal interference for fucking once. On the downside, It's missing David Peoples' more technical science fiction touch. You can read about his influence in the superb Paul Salmon book Future Noir, The Making of Blade Runner, but the short version is whatever narrative coherence the movie had, you can largely thank David Peoples for, and he's gone daddy gone, having effectively quit the movie business after his spiritual sequel to Blade Runner, the Kurt Russell action film Soldier, went up like the Hindenburg. Perhaps most encouragingly, however, the sequel plans to use the scrapped original opening from the 1982 original.
We decided to start the film off with what was the original starting block of the original film, because you start off in what I would describe as a factory farm.
The original idea was to have Deckard sit in the kitchen, and as a strange vehicle pulls up, a guy in farmer overalls comes out, goes into the house, sees Deckard sitting there, ignores him, walks into the kitchen, starts stirring a big pot of soup. Says, "Do you want any soup?" Deckard doesn't say anything. He says, "Who are you with anyway?" This guy's stirring. Deckard gets up, says, "I'm Deckard, Blade Runner." Boom, he kills this guy for no reason, just shoots him. And you go, what is going on? And then as the guy slumps against this wall, falls to the floor, Deckard reaches into his head and pulls his lower jaw out. And you see that it's an aluminum construct with an ID number stamped on it. You realize, oh, it's not a person, it's a robot.
So yeah, I have a sneaking suspicion it could be good, Bautista's speaking role and all. From the rain-drenched futurescapes of cyberpunk LA to the withered deserts of the Kipple beyond, they've certainly mastered the visual lexicon, if nothing else. But I will say this with indefatigable certainty. Even if they execute absolutely everything right, Blade Runner 2049 can only ever be a jaw-dropping, mind-blowing, visually and tonally resplendent, completely unnecessary film. It's too bad the franchise won't die, but then again, what does? God fucking speed!
A lot of people are psyched about Blade Runner 2, Blade Harder, I think we should call it.
I'll suggest it, but honestly, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to suggest it.